At the beginning of June this year, representatives of the Regnum Christi movement gathered together here in the General Directorate of the Legionaries of Christ, and we made the best of the moment to ask some of them a few questions. And the first question was, what's going on?
So we're having the meeting of the representatives from different countries where Regnum Christi is present. And these are the first and second degree members of the movement. It's the first time that we've ever gathered as an international community. And what we're hoping to do is to start the discussions about the renewal and the revision of our statutes as first and second degree members. It's part of a bigger picture of the renewal and revision of the whole movement.
And how are things going?
Incredibly well.
Have you learned anything?
Yeah, I mean, what really amazed me coming here today is that we don't speak to one another from the different territories, from different parts of the world. We come from very different cultures. We lead very different lives. Our points of reference are completely different, so I really expected there to be a lot of difference of opinion on who we are and what Regnum Christi would look like. And I had to wonder coming into this meeting if what I feel as a call in my heart from God to Regnum Christi would be the same as what someone from Mexico or Hungary or the Philippines or Spain would feel. And when we came out with a product, would I identify with it? Would it be a call that made sense to me? And the amazing thing is how similarly we are all thinking. And the inspirations of the Holy Spirit that to us seemed kind of unique were actually more universal than we thought. And that really amazed all of us, that the way we experience our life in Regnum Christi, the things that we think are important to keep, the things that we think need to be purified, are very similar across the board. And so I really have learned that the Holy Spirit is at work.
Yes, I've learned a lot. I have learned so much.
Like?
Regnum Christi is a spiritual family, that it is a big reality.
Are we talking here about a new Regnum Christi, forgetting everything that has gone beforehand?
No. I'm talking about, because new is different from renewed. That's totally different. I'll refer to the Gospels. Christ didn't say that he came to make new things, but Christ came to make all things new, and that's different. So it's not a new movement. It's not a reset button. It's more of a purification, and it's not the same as a new movement. It's a renewal of the movement.
Is the Regnum Christi movement then breaking away from the Legionaries?
The way I see it is that we're all one spiritual family. In the Legion of Christ, the members of the Legion of Christ are members of the Regnum Christi movement. The consecrated are members of the Regnum Christi movement. The first and second degree are members of the Regnum Christi movement. So we're indivisible that way, but there's a certain maturity and authenticity in living our lay vocation that we're called to, that we're starting to grow into on our own, but with the support of the Legion, with their respect, with their support, and definitely with the connection of influence that they have on our spiritual lives, on our formation.
We are not Regnum Christi without the consecrated. We're not Regnum Christi without the legionaries. But each branch has a distinct identity that we're trying to articulate, and that's one of the objectives of these meetings, asking ourselves as first and second degree members, who are we? Because the legionaries are priests, the consecrated are consecrated men and women. Who are we as first and second degree members? Because once we know our identity, then we can work together with them.
And would you have a quick little message from Rome?
The process of purification that God has been doing always brings the good to triumph. And that is the hope of the resurrection. And that is the process that's going on right now in the first and second degree, in the consecrated life, in the Legion of Christ. And that we have to have faith in that. And this experience of being together with such diversity and yet with such unity and love among us and such clarity of conviction of who we are and what we're called to do has strengthened my faith. It strengthened all of our faith that God is at work in this. It's His work more than it's ours.
This is a very special moment to be a Regnum Christi member. But the thing is that sometimes the questions are more important. than finding the answers. And because if the questions are there, and if we're uncertain, and if we don't have the answers, that opens the way for God to come in. And I think more than ever, this period of time in the movement with all the uncertainty is a period of grace for all of its members. It's, in my experience, I rarely encounter people who are this happy. And it always fills me up too. So,
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.